In order to build a house, you'll first need to collect yourself the necessary resources, and to do this, it will really help to make yourself a stone axe. So if you press Q, then this menu here will come up and you can go to your handcrafting and you can make a stone axe when you have the required sticks and stone. You can see there you need 10 sticks and 2 stone, and then we just left click and it will take a few seconds to craft it up. Once this is made, press I to open your inventory and you can see the stone axe here. You can just go ahead and drag it into your hotbar if it's not there already. At that stage, whenever I press 1, I'll then have access to my axe. You're then going to need to cut down a load of trees, so you simply walk up to them and left click a few times until they get down to falling down, which will look a little something like this. So it breaks and then they fall down. When they fall, you'll need to hit the log a further 2 times, just like this, so once and twice, and then we can pick up the logs that drop from them. You'll also need to make a wooden hammer. Press Q, go down to the handcrafting, and then select the wooden hammer here, which does require 1 log and 10 sticks. You can press I once again to see it in your inventory and drag it over to a quick slot so that you can equip it by just pushing the number. You'll also need to collect a load of straw, which in this game is actually called reeds when you see it in the open. So these right here are reeds, and if we press E to collect that, then we actually pick up straw from the reeds. So as the game suggests, you're going to want 32 of the reeds, or the straw that you get from the reeds, and cut down and collect about 5 trees worth of resources before you start to build your house. So I'm going to go and get the rest of these resources right now, and then I'll bring you into how you actually build it. To build a house, press Q to get this menu up here, and then go to where it says buildings and go down here to houses. For your first house in the game, the only one you'll have available to you will be this simple small house right here. So we can left click this and then we can look around until it goes green, and when it's green that means we can build it, and if it's red obviously we can. Now before you place your house, I want to talk to you a little bit about the location that you choose. It's very handy to be near a good amount of trees before you build your first house, as you will be going to and from trees to get the resources from them to complete the building of the house. If you press I, you'll see that you do have a weight limit right here of 35 kilos, so you can only carry so much at a time, and being near the trees makes things easier. Building your first house, it doesn't matter too much where you build it, because you can always tear it down again later on and move it, but you may want to think about where you want to live in the longer term, so it goes in a good place from the early start. It's also useful to just be near like woodland areas where you can go and hunt for animals, and rivers for fishing and things like that later on. Once you're happy with the location, go ahead and go to the building of the house and then just find a place where it goes green. So let's say we want to build it here. Now if you want to rotate it, you can use Q and E, and you can rotate it with 360 degrees to get the exact orientation that you want. Then you simply left click and it will create a little plot for you like this, and this of course is where your house is going to go. Next you want to go ahead and equip your hammer. So once again in your inventory, here's my hammer in slot number 2. If it's not there and it's showing up over here, simply drag it over and put it in one of the slots. Then press the number corresponding to the slot number that you put it in, and this will open up and you'll see this blueprint. Now if we go over close to this, you can see right here it tells us the required resources are 10 stone, of which we currently have 0. So I'm going to go ahead now and collect up those 10 stones and then show you how to do the building once we have the resources. When you pick up a resource, so if we pick up this stone right here, if you look in the top left of the screen, it tells you how many in total you have. So you can see that we gained +1 stone, or in that case +2, so we picked 2 up and it put us up to 7 stone. So then if I pick up this one right here, it says +1, or up to 8 stone total, and then 9, and then the 10 that we need in order to build this thing. Okay, I missed a couple times, but now we have the 10. So we now have the required resources. We come over here and we simply left click and we do that the 10 times to place down each of the stones and create the foundation. And when that's complete, that looks a little something like this. Now we need to build these beams, so we go up to them and once again we just left click with these in order to build it. And once you get to this stage where you've run out of resources, this is where you're going to swap to your axe, go and chop down a few more trees, collect the resources, and then go back to building the house. And so this is why you definitely want to be near to a forest before building a house in this game. One quick tip when you're gathering sticks, which you'll have to do a lot of for your first house, is you see here we have sticks that you find on the floor, and if we hold down E to take that, we get 1 stick. But you'll also see little trees like this, and if we hold down E here, it takes the same amount of time, but on that one we got 2 sticks. And from this one right here, let's try this. There we go, and another 2 sticks from there, and from this one here, another 2. Sometimes I think you get 3 though. Yeah, there we go, we got 3 from that one. So you get 2 or 3 depending on the size of the tree, I think. But basically for the same amount of time as picking the sticks up off of the floor, if you pick up the sticks from these trees like this, you'll get 2 to 3 times the amount per pickup. This might not sound like much, but it is a slight time-saving tip that if you carry with you throughout the game could be quite useful. Another thing to mention is it's always worth checking if your building needs more logs than what you have. The reason being is if it does, we cut down a tree like we've done here, and then when we go to chop this tree up into smaller pieces, you'll see that we actually get, there we go, 7 sticks from that chop. And so basically we're getting 7 sticks just from getting the logs that we needed anyway. So you're best prioritizing the logs and you'll get the sticks incidentally whilst you're doing it. Again, just a small efficiency thing, but something that could be helpful and I thought was worth mentioning. And just like that, your beautiful first house will be complete. But let's take a look inside, as there are some things we can do in here. So you get in just by running into the door and that will open it and shut it behind you. And the first thing you see, of course, are the beds. And yes, you can then go ahead and sleep in here here overnight. It also comes equipped with a cauldron, a stone campfire, and also a chest that you can open and store things inside of. If you'd like to see more tutorials on this game, please do consider liking and subscribing, as it's a great indicator to me as to how much interest there is in the game. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.